Just checking to see everybody's around. If you're around, do let us know so I can start the stream. Just making sure that everybody turns up. Let's try and make some fixes. Let's see if everybody's on. Let's do it. Hello. If you are here, please say hello on the YouTube channel and the chat. If you're on Zoom, that's cool as well. Whatever's easiest for you. And yes, I have purposely decided to move my camera in a very weird position because I wanted to show and make sure we understood from last time. Maybe have a little bit more crowd participation if possible. Got 2 people watching on the channel. Nobody on the Zoom link. That's okay. It's perfectly fine. Cool. Might just wait for a couple more minutes. It's only just 11 o'clock on the dot. So we'll see what happens. So if you are watching this live, you can maybe type on the YouTube channel, say hello to the 2 people that are watching now. I'd like to say hello. If you are watching this, do leave a comment on the chat so I can have a look. Yes, I have purposely readjusted the camera because I wanted to show something, but otherwise we can get straight into it. But we'll just hopefully wait for a couple more people. We've got about 2 more people, a couple more people to come. I am running this from Zoom, so at the moment nobody's joined into Zoom, which is perfectly okay. But if you'd like to join the Zoom, do join the Zoom link. It should be there. All right. Zoom windows ready. Just gonna adjust this a little bit so it's a bit more easy to see. But no, I won't do what I'm supposed to do, which is actually adjusting the camera itself, because there's a reason why I wanted to show some things over there. Once again, welcome everybody to today's session on Zoom presentation and how it would help with presenting Sahaja Yoga programs online. Do leave the questions on the channel and also on the chat on Zoom. Would love to answer as much as I can. If there's anything that I can answer, I will refer you to the right people that can help you for sure in this. And again, just a reminder, my camera is purposely placed like this. And I'll explain why I've decided to do that. Just want to say welcome to the three people that are watching now on this video. Really appreciate you taking the time. Depending on how we go, if it works out well, we might have a quick condense session, but otherwise yeah, we'll see how we go from there. May as well put some music in the background so people can listen to while it's happening. So as you'll remember, whenever we do audio share, we always go to your Zoom channel, and then you click share, and then so you click the actual share screen button. It's a green little highlight button just on the bottom there. Click share, and then I would go to advanced, and then there's a saying that says computer audio, and then you want to click that into mono, and that would just basically work. So now I'm able to play something from my Spotify, for example. Play some nice Indian classical music while we wait for everybody to slowly come on. So at the moment I've put this into 50% volume, not too loud, just enough so that we can actually have a listen. You can hear my voice and also with the music being in the background. I just found out that people can't get into the meeting. I'll just quickly send them some links. You've got to connect your audio, Uncle. You got to connect your audio.
Just join by just.
Oh, okay. Yes, your audio is working now. Great to hear. Cool. I'm just gonna turn down the music so that we can hear each other. Great, cool, awesome. Hey, Uncle Richard, how you going? I think you're on mute, so
Well,
just gotta press the space bar. Press the space bar. Hold it down. Oh, yeah, so press it and then hold. No, so press it and then hold it down and then speak.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that's
so it's temporarily muted. Now it's unmuted.
Yes.
And now it's going to be muted again.
Yep, that's it. That's it. You got it. You got it. Great.
So is it just us, Sean?
Well, there are about 4 people now on YouTube watching this. So,
cool.
Yeah, we'll just wait a couple more minutes and maybe we'll get started because I know there are a couple of people who are actually wanting to attend this session. And then, yeah, we'll see how we go.
Sure. Excellent.
Sean,
Yes.
Just out of interest, how's my sound? Is there any echo or anything like that?
No, it's actually sounding really good.
Yeah, good. I've got it.
So the mic that you've got over there, really great. Awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't change any different, to be honest. We'll just wait. I think Uncle Sean wants to join in as well, so I'll just wait for him to join the session. Uncle Andrew, have you got the YouTube playing in the background, or?
I can hear myself twice now. There's about
Yeah,
a
so
30
maybe you've got the
lag.
YouTube playing in the background, maybe.
YouTube. Okay.
Yeah,
Turn my
so
YouTube
maybe
off.
just stop, and then we'll see how we go.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah, sounds much better now, which is good. So
Oh,
that's
good.
great. And also, are you is the speaker, so the sound, is it like out in the open kind of thing? Or is it on at the moment so you can hear yourself in a way,
Yeah.
or?
What I've done is I've got a Behringer thing that I
Okay.
use for recording, and
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got a separate speaker, so I hear it very well.
Yeah, yeah. So what I would say is, in order to have that, you know how you had that weird loop back thingy that was happening?
Yep.
It's best whenever you do your presentation having a headphone on rather than the sound, because what's going to happen is the sound will go into the mic and then it will sort of just keep looping back quite a couple of times. So that will be my sort of recommendation, so that you
Yeah.
don't hear yourself like whenever you do your presentation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but at the moment I don't hear any echo at all.
Okay, so that's yeah. So that I think then it should solve the problem. But yeah, what I would say is, if you're just so to make it easy as well, whenever you're presenting, just have the cans on, like I have at the moment.
Yeah.
Just so it's easy for you to talk, and also people can talk back as well. Because sometimes when you do hear the speaker come, Zoom has a bit of a threshold where it will cut off the sound at some point. So if you have like a live conversation, it will sort of like be a kind of situation. So do a couple of test runs though, but if it's working perfectly fine, then I mean, don't have to change anything, I guess.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you.
Yep.
I last week Shan asked you how to play audio without playing. I know how to play audio, computer audio.
Yep.
If you've got the computer screen share, but
Yep.
otherwise, how do you do it without screen share?
So you can do cool. Well, might as well just get started anyway. So we can just go straight into it. So if you go to your screen, at the moment you don't have the share screen option. So what I'll do is I'll click the all participants so that everybody can look at it.
Yep.
So now you should be able to see a little green button on the bottom there.
Screen share. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Now click that one for me, please.
Yep.
So when you click that, you should be able to go to advanced. There's a three option that says basic,
Advanced,
advanced,
I'm on
and
that now,
files. Yep. So if you go to advanced and then it says computer audio over there.
Music or computer sound only.
Yeah, or music and video sound. Okay, cool. What version do you have, Uncle Andrew? Or
What version of Zoom?
yeah,
I'm not sure.
have you got the latest one or?
It should be fairly recent, I think. Yeah.
Okay, because the new one's I think 5.7. So because when I've got the advanced screen, it should say computer audio. Doesn't matter, it's perfectly fine. But good to know, just so that if you do update, it doesn't say music and computer sound anymore. It says computer audio.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll try and update my Zoom.
Yeah. So just to answer your question again, Uncle Andrew. So yeah, if you go to advanced, there's a little speaker that says computer audio. If you just click that. And then if you click the bottom right share, and then automatically now it should come up as you were sharing.
Actually, I
it.
think it must mean the same thing. Music or computer sound only means audio without video.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll leave that on, and I'll just
Yep.
Can I just test it and see if it works?
Yeah, sure. So if you share it, I should be able to see the green thing on the top that says you're sharing now.
Yeah. How's that?
Can't see you sharing.
Now, can you hear any music?
No, I can't hear any because you haven't shared your audio, Uncle.
Well, so I thought I did. Okay, I'll try.
So
again.
if you did you press the bottom share on the bottom right?
Ha.
Yeah, you got to click that
first,
bottom
yeah,
share on the right.
okay.
Yeah, the blue button. If you click that, that should automatically come on.
So,
there.
yeah. It's not allowing me to do it. Click
Maybe
this option if you want others
maybe
to
because
hear.
I need to
Make you a co-host. Make me a
no, not
co-host.
co-host. If I need to enable the sharing option, so I think now you should be able to. Can you try again, please?
Yeah. No.
Doesn't allow you?
No.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
No, I've got the picture, but it's slightly grayed out rather than clear. You know, the whole screen share thing.
Oh, okay. So you should be able to share your computer audio. That's really weird. That's the first time. Maybe if you can send me a screen grab, Uncle, of what you see, then I can troubleshoot it, because you should be able to go to advanced computer audio and then it will share screen. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly do this right now while we have on the screen, so that you can see me doing it. So as you can see over here. Okay. So mine looks really, really wide at the moment. So what I did was I basically went share screen. If I click this bottom one over here, and because I've got multiple desktop, I've got this, and this and that. What you want to do is you want to go to advanced, click that, and then if I were to click this one over here, it would now just come straight into just computer audio share. So what's going to happen now if I just share this? You will see on the top there, it says that Sean is sharing his computer sound on the top with the green, and then there's a little red thing on the right that says so that will be how you would do it when you share your audio.
But is it that you're not allowing me to share?
No, because I've actually made the option for all participants to share. So
actually now it's working, and it says starting screen share will stop other participants.
Okay, cool. So that means what will happen is if you screen share, you will stop my sharing of screen. Right, so maybe you try, Uncle, and see how that works, please.
Yeah.
That's it. Works now. There you go.
Working now.
Yeah. Good. So I can hear you now.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Cool. So have you got a speaker coming out to it, Uncle, or?
I have got a speaker, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what's happening at the moment is when I'm talking, it's cutting out the audio because I think it's actually the sound is being fed into your microphone. So that's why I was saying it's better for you to have a set of cans rather than having a speaker in front of you, because you'll have that weird loop thing happening. So yeah. Cool. While that is happening, I will we'll go back.
Sean, can I ask you a question just related to that?
Yeah, go for it, please.
So that's great, because that's something I wanted to know as well.
Sure.
And all I'd like to know is, so while I'm sharing, say, some music, computer audio, just like we've done there, could I also display, say, an image, like a photograph of Srimataji at the same time?
Yep, you definitely can. Yeah, for sure. I went through this last week, but I'll go through quickly again so y'all can see as well. So I'll just share my screen so you can see what I'm exactly doing over here. Okay. So when I'm sharing screen on Richard, what I do is basically, so now you can see myself in the screen over here. What I do is I press share screen. Now what you can do with your share screen, if you go to advanced, you can share a portion of your screen. So say, for example, if you don't want everybody to see your desktop, but you just only want to show a photo of Srimataji, you can click that. Obviously, you click that portion of the screen, and you see that bottom left part that says share sound.
Yep, I can see that.
Yep. Okay. So what you do is when you click that one, make sure that is on. Because if you see it over there, it says select this option if you want others to hear sounds coming from your computer as well as see your shared screen. So what's going to happen is when you click this one, it will come this over here, and then you just make sure it's normally whenever you click that one, it automatically clicks to a configured setting, so you don't have to worry. And then once you click that, you press share, and then that should automatically show you a thing. And what's another way to check as well, Uncle, is if you can see my, I don't think you can see my my screen over here with the tabs. But when you share screen,
can see it.
Oh, you can see it. Okay, cool. So can you see the one that says you are screen sharing? And there's like this little speaker cloud and like a tick over here.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you share, what's going to happen is you need to make sure you see this little speaker over here. If you see the speaker, that means yes, your screen share actually worked, and you're sharing the audio that comes with it.
Cool. Okay. Excellent. So basically, you share the portion of the screen,
Yep.
and then you activate the sound in the bottom left hand.
Yeah, so the one that says share sound, because by default, obviously with mine, I've done it quite often that Zoom has remembered for me to automatically click it. But if you haven't done it for quite some time, you just have to make sure that this option get clicked, because if you don't see the speaker, that means you won't get any music that you're playing from your computer being shared into your presentation.
Excellent. Thank you.
No worries. Great. Cool. All right. So awesome. I think Uncle Sean's just entered the room, which is great. Cool. Awesome. I'll just stop share. Good. I'm going to get straight into it now. So big official welcome to everybody. So maybe what we'll do is we'll just start by maybe raising on Kundalini and give ourselves a bandhan. Shumadaji, please be present. That will help us with this training session. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this. Please help us be your vessels to spread love through this new medium called Zoom. Shumadaji, thank you for guiding us the way. If there's any mistakes that we do knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive us, Mother. Forgive us, Mother. Jai Shumadaji. All right, let's get straight into it. First of all, welcome to everybody today for today's session. We are basically going to be covering a couple more technical stuff, just a piggyback off last week's session, where we talked about just downloading a Zoom, being part in a Zoom meeting. Now today is a bit more catered towards the technical aspects of how to run things like being the support system, how to be a presenter, what are some things that we have to work on, and I would like to make this a little bit more sort of really live interaction, so I would like to also get some feedback. Very, very casual way of running this, so if you have any questions, I do know that we have about a couple of people on YouTube as well who are watching, so a big welcome to them as well. For those of you that are on Zoom, if you have any questions, do type in on the chat. If you're not sure where the chat is on your computer, it should be on the bottom left side of your thing that has a little text box over there, and it'll say the word chat. Just click that box and then basically type the message that you would like to share. So that'd be really, really helpful for me to answer. I will go through certain presentation, but if there's anything that you want me to repeat, please let me know and I will stop and make sure that everybody understands it. It is best to try and do this in real time if you can. Obviously there'll be some functionality issues, but if you're not sure, what will happen is this video is available on YouTube, so you are able to scroll back and look at it, and also you're available to reach out to me if you all have any questions personally about it. So that's pretty much it. So the first part of the of today will be just about learning how to present. What are some key tips or do's and don'ts. I'm already doing a couple of things that are big no-nos already, but I would like to sort of go through that with you, and then also giving you some tips on how to, in terms of gear, and also how would you best maximize your presentation skills so that it makes it very easy from a person who's actually watching or being part of your program. So these are small bits, but it does add up to create that great experience of still being able to do a program at the comfort of your premises, and we'll see how we go from there. So yeah, Cool. So just quickly about the presentation. So as you can see right now, my camera, the way it's adjusted, it's probably not the best way. As you can see, it is quite okay. But if you can see in the middle of your screen, I'm just underneath the middle line over here. So what we want to try and do is with this camera, trying to adjust it so that you actually see me so bring me up towards the middle of the screen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly adjust my camera so you can see me a bit more. And then that way, you're able to sort of be a little bit more present to the person in front of you. I know for some people, they use virtual backgrounds. I'm not a big fan of that. I think that sort of detracts the presentation aspect. But I would say before you do, obviously, number one, don't do what I did, which is actually adjusting the camera while I'm presenting. Obviously, that's a big no-no, trying to make sure that it's quite nice. What I would suggest is having like a clear background behind you. As you can see, I don't have the best of backgrounds. I've got a couple of things behind me. Best to have a clear background so it's easy. If you do want to put a virtual background, I know some people, they have their presentations when they do their programs, they have like a side banner which shows like, Shimaji's photo and then a bit of a chakra chart and then, and a little bit about the program title itself. You can get that picture made. I think that's something that's been in the works and is being talked about. But that's also, again, playing out with virtual background. What I would say to you is don't worry about that if it's too technical. Just keep it simple. Keep like nothing in the background if you can. If you want to keep one or two, that's perfectly up to you. That would be my suggestion. Now, last week, I think somebody asked about, Shimaji's photo. Whether is it best to have it physically or best to have it on the screen. Personal preference, it's really a personal choice. Whenever I was doing the programs, I would have it just on the side over here. So it's nice to have a physical photo of Shimaji in front of you. But sometimes people, like what Uncle Richard was asking in terms of a question, you can share like a portion side of your thing. Yes, as I can see, Uncle Andrew there, he's got a photo of Shimaji right there. So that's a great example of having that. It's a personal preference where you can also share like a portion of a pamphlet or a photo of Shimaji, and you can still be in that presentation. From a viewing perspective, it'll just look nice to have a photo of Shimaji constantly, and then obviously you as the presenter right there. Again, personal preference, is up to you, whatever's easiest. I did both. I always say go with the flow. That's what I would say in terms of what feels right for you. So that would be my thing on that. So that's that over there. One thing I would say is, especially with your mic setup as well as a presenter, as you can see, I've got a pretty sort of inbuilt mic that's pretty good. You can only hear my voice at the moment. A lot of the microphones that you have, especially in your computer or your desktop or your laptop, they're all inbuilt. And inbuilt is quite good, but sometimes it can take everything that's around you. So for example, if somebody's doing the washing over there and they drop something, that will sort of come across over here as well. So like I think Uncle Andrew's got a nice microphone there, which is really good. I would highly recommend getting something that's a bit more sort of directional to only your voice only and takes your voice, so to speak. I won't talk too much about gear, but if this is of interest of anybody, happy to reach out to me and we can talk a little bit more about what is the right gear. You can get nice mics for like $150 or something. So, and it's just a plug and play. You just plug it in and then boom, you're good to go, and it still sounds really, really nice. Now in terms of the microphone, obviously with the way my microphone's quite powerful, so if I were to bring it really, really close over here, it's going to sound really in your face. We don't want to try and do that. We want to try and keep it out a bit. It's important to monitor your volumes before you start doing. So how do you do that? So I'm just going to quickly share my screen so you can see how I do it. Now Zoom has built this very, very sort of for beginners people kind of thing, right? So what you do is when you go to your left side, if you see this part over here, there's a thing that actually tests your audio over here. As you can see, as I'm speaking, I'm not really going too high up. So as I go closer, you see how it's slowly filling up the brim of the microphone over there. I like to keep my levels just in the middle over here.
I can't see that. don't think.
Can you see that,
I
or?
can see a tiny little microphone.
It's pretty small, isn't it? Yes, because I've got the white screen on. So what I'll do is I'll share a portion of the screen so you guys can see it a bit more clear. Okay, so let's do portion screen. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this over here, and then I'll put the Zoom window up. Oops. Okay, so it doesn't really behave for me. That's why. Okay, that's right. We'll just go back to normal sharing of my screen instead. So we'll just stop share, and then we'll just do it again. Cool. No worries. So as you can see, so when you do your screen share, just for everybody to know, if you go in the bottom left of your own Zoom window, you should see your microphone level. Now it won't go red. It would pretend the green is like the volume bar. I like to keep my level in the middle if I can. But that doesn't mean that you have to be like really, really close. Some microphones have a good amount of like capacity to do it. Most inbuilt laptop ones will just give you right above the little the cradle of the microphone there, just around there. That's a perfect level, and that's perfectly fine. To show you how to test run this, I'm gonna share my screen again. If you just go over to your left side, it says audio settings. I spent about a good 5 to 10 minutes doing this test just to make sure it's going to go. So for example, if I want to test speaker, you'll probably be hearing some sounds now, some random sounds. That's basically making sure your input is there. Testing your microphone. So as you can see over here, see the way I'm talking. You want to try and keep it in the green. Don't try and go in the red and the yellow. It's not a bad thing if it's there, but if it's sort of 9 out of 10 times around the green, you should be okay. I like to click the automatically adjust microphone volume. All of this is automatically set anyway, but it's just good to know in case you want to troubleshoot on the day with information in regards to if anything does happen on your sessions and whatnot. So that's that one over there. So making sure that this all go through. Just in regards to backgrounds and filters, we talked about making a virtual background. This is how you can do it over here. So for example, I got a couple of videos that I can do. If you have a green screen, what's going to happen is, for example, if I put this over here, if I just put a blur, now I think, yeah, so you can now only see me and you can't see my background. It's probably worth playing around with. It's up to you, but I would say play around with this and see what works for you. This is probably a bit more ideal for a lot of people, because we probably they want to see, they don't want to show people's background essentially, but it does show just your head, my microphone, so to speak. And if I were to bring this closer, that's basically what is over here, just on the dimension of where the camera. So every time I put my hand out, obviously you can see the blur sort of comes off, and it does go over there. This is very, very useful. I see a lot of people use this. So again, person choice, I would say play around with that. That would be my thing over there. Cool. Well, I will take off the blur because I like to, that's just me. Yeah, cool. Just great. Cool. Hope everything's going well so far. What I'm going to go to today is talking a little bit about presenting, and also just some of the things that you can do as host and as co-host as well. So one of the things that we can do is obviously share screen, enabling hosting purposes, being able to also show people, if you want to create some security preferences and things like that, so for example, allowing participants to share screen, and whatnot, and that kind of stuff. So one thing that I know a lot of people have been wanting to know about is the use of breakout rooms. So for example, wanting to create a smaller environment. Okay. So I'm going to show you from the administration perspective. So you all won't be able to see it, but that's perfectly okay. And for this example, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my phone to log in to this session over here. Okay. So, and then you can see how I do the assigning of the breakout rooms and whatnot, things like that. So I'm just going to go on my phone, just going to click that link. So now it should come up as me wanting to come in over there. So usually most Sahaja Yoga meetings have been set as a waiting room thing. So you have to manually add them in. So just press admit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my audio. So my audio is off already, which is great. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually assign myself to breakout rooms. Now I will make sure that my speakers are off. Okay, great, good. So how do you do breakout rooms? Really simple. Now there should be an option on your thing to do breakout rooms. Should be able to do it. I was playing around with this today, so you should be able to do it. So in order to first enable your breakout room, so I just realized I don't think this has been enabled on the account. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly show you how to do it on the Zoom. So first and foremost, you will have to log in into your Zoom account. Sorry, to the Zoom account over here. So if you just go to your settings, I think it's... okay, so it's not on my one. Okay, cool. I'll go into my actual Chrome so you can see it. So I'll just open up a new Chrome on my desktop. Whoops. Okay, so what you do is you just go into Zoom. Just gonna make this big so that we can actually see it. Okay, so what you do is you go into your user management, and I think it's users, room management, Zoom rooms. Wait, sorry, let me just, sorry, settings, and then, so if you go into your settings, you can actually do this right now as well in real time. So if you just search for breakout rooms, I think it's at the bottom. Yeah, there you go. So see over here. So if you go into your Zoom settings in the browser, so if you go to this one that says breakout room over here. So as you can see currently right now, I don't have it set up. So what you can do is if you just log in into your thing, if I just click this right now, what's going to happen is you should be able to see the breakout option on your thing. So if I just going to click over here, and I should be able to now have breakout rooms. So allow host to select, yep, so that's great. So let's close, yep, cool. So that should be quite okay now. And then I should be able to actually put people into breakout room. So with the breakout rooms, I'm just gonna close this, and then you'll have to.
So Sean.
Yep.
That should only show up if you're a host or a co-host, won't it?
Yes, it should show up if you're a host or a co-host. And then I think because of the way it's set up right now, I don't think I'm actually able to assign a breakout room. But it was actually working before. No one's doing that before. So you should be able to have an option that will allow you to do it. So I'll just quickly share a video that will allow you to show you how to do it. But I'll just share the screen over here, because I think I need to restart my Zoom again to make sure that it does it. So I'll just quickly show you what's on the thing over here. So a really simple one over here. So as we can see, I'll just scroll down quickly so you can see. So we've done this step over here, and allowed to host assigned participants to breakout rooms when scheduling. So when you are so once you start your meeting tomorrow, for those of you running your programs, you should be able to have this option usually on the bottom right that will say breakout rooms. And then what you do, once you're able to see that, it will be able to just assign it. Currently right now, because if you're not a Zoom participant, and because I need to actually close this meeting and restart again, And you should be able to do it. So when you assign somebody a breakout room, what's going to happen is when you do it, so that's, you can, I'll put this link up so that for yourself, Uncle Andrew and Uncle Sean, you guys can actually have a read on this.
The other question is, when we do change settings on our personal Zoom account, does that still carry over to when Sean is using the collective one, the corporate?
Yeah. So what I've done is I've actually just gone into the collective one and actually enabled breakout rooms. So now you should be able to do it. I can't do it on my session right now because I need to shut down and reopen and restart the Zoom meeting again. But you should be able to do it in your thing. You should be able to see an option to do that. So I'll just quickly show you a video. Did someone just jump in? Just quickly make sure that they're muted. Yeah. Okay. So if you see over here, I've just basically with the Zoom breakout rooms, I'll just quickly show you a quick video just to see how it's done. So if you can see over here, what's going to happen is there'll be a part that will allow you to create a breakout room. So if you look over here, when you make somebody a co-host, you will be able to do. So what happens whenever you set somebody as a host and a co-host, they will be able to assign to a breakout room. Try and make this a bit bigger so you can see. So as you can see with the breakout rooms, as per this video over here, you can assign people to breakout rooms. And this is how the screen will look like. So if you just go over here, I'll just quickly go back. So as you can see, you can assign like X amount of participants. You can assign all the participants, or you can actually assign, you can either do an automatic assignment or you can do a manual assignment. Manual assignment is a little bit time consuming depending on how many people you have in your program, if it's on Zoom. So it's best if you do it is to have a technical support person next to you to sort of run through it in the process, and then you can sort of delay. You won't feel like, you know, you're sort of looking into a blank screen and having the presentation and still trying to run the session, so to speak. So what we want to try and do is, especially if we look over here, I'm not having any audio. So as you can see, you can have 1 to 2 rooms. And you can either do automatically where it's just randomly assign people. Now with
that's not what we want to do.
Yeah, so I would suggest having a manual. So look, if you look over here, see how it's got this thing over here? This is based on an automatic assignment, but you can also have the option to manually move it. As a host, you are able to manually move people around if you need to.
Yeah, so to do it manually, for example, when people join the program, well, hopefully what we're hoping to do is that when people log on to us to join the program, then is Sean, I think, is Monica looking after accepting people into the program?
I think he's on mute. Might just ask him.
Yeah, we can only see the top of his head as well.
Oh, sorry.
Very professional looking, Sean. Oh, that's
so it's Sunday. I thought I'd just be a bit more. Sorry. Yes, Monica will be handling the waiting room.
Yeah.
So she knows how. She'll have to know how to assign people to the break. Can she then assign people to the breakout room at that point?
Yes. So what you do, as you can see this screen over here, you see how we've got 2 breakout rooms based on this video over here. So obviously this is based on an automatic one. So if you want to have smaller breakout rooms, yes, you can do that. You just have to go to that option when you go into this one over here, assigning all the participants into random rooms, and then you have the automatic manual. And then it will, this is basically automatic. So it'll tell you how many participants per room, and then it will create breakout rooms. And then what will happen is it will prompt something onto your browser, and that will say, hey, you're being assigned to this room, and then you just got to press admit. So if you just look over here, if you keep going, so as you can see, you can manually adjust them and whatnot, things like that. Take out the caption. So you see how you can, so if you just saw that, you see how you can manually adjust people as well and move them around.
Just drag and drop, is it?
Yeah, it's just a drag and drop option, I think. Yeah, if you look over here, just go back. So just go back. Yep. So I think it did. So you see how over here you can click it, and then what it does, you see you can move, you can exchange, or you can move people out if you need to. It is a little bit of a, like a, what's it called? What's the word? Like a, it'll take some time to manage through that, but a lot of the option by clicking like the move to and exchange, you can exchange one person to there, you can move to breakout room. Now, when you click the move to option, it will just automatically go straight to the next one. But I think sometimes you'll have the option that will say move to which breakout room. I think some of the older Zooms, they have that, but I think now the newer ones, when you click move to, for example, from someone from breakout room 1 to 2, it will just automatically do that. You don't have to do an extra click, if that makes sense.
Question.
Yes.
So this is only possible at the point where everybody's at the waiting room. Is that correct?
What do you mean by the waiting room, Uncle?
Okay, let's say we start a meeting, everybody's in the waiting room.
Yep.
And when we manage to figure out, okay, these 3 people need to go into the breakout room. So at that point, we can send them to the breakout room. Is that correct? I asked because let's say, I'm just scenario. Let's say everybody's admitted into the main meeting.
Yep.
And then while we're talking, say, hello, welcome to Saja Yoga, blah, blah, blah. And then they say, okay, I'm totally new to Saja Yoga. Okay, so once they entered the meeting, can we then transfer them to the breakout room?
Yes, you can definitely do that. But I don't think you can do from the waiting room straight to the breakout room.
Okay,
so they have to come to the main one. And then I think if Auntie Monica's doing the tech support of that, she will have to manually assign that person into that room.
Okay.
But yes, that is possible. You can definitely do that. I would highly recommend having those kind of sessions. And that's very easy, as you can do. If you just follow this session over here, very, very straightforward.
Okay.
I think they're doing it in Brisbane.
Yes, I know Vaibhav and his team are actually doing that, and it's actually been very helpful because they have a lot of sessions where they have people who just jump in and they're probably like, oh, it's my first time, cool, no worries, and then they just do an automatic assign. But you will have to get that ready a couple of minutes in advance, so you can't just do that straight away. So like I said, as you can see, it does take like an extra amount of time to actually set all of this up. So make sure you get yourself ready, good to go. And then when the new person comes in, so say for example, if Uncle Shan, if you're presenting and then Auntie Monica's on the support, you can do the talking and then Auntie Monica will do the actual moving around and things like that. So that's pretty quick and it makes it a bit more seamless. That will be my sort of way of doing it. So yeah, I would suggest do a couple of try runs yourself as well and see that work. You should be able to have it. So for example, as you can see in this screen over here, if you look at the video, so you see how now you should have this option of breakout rooms whenever you start your programs right now. So if you just follow the step that I just did where you go into your Zoom settings and go into the in-meeting basics and enable the breakout rooms, you should be able to do that. And that's perfectly easy. So yeah, I guess the only catch is like, for example, what I can't do right now is like it won't appear on mine because I'll have to close Zoom and then redo the Zoom, reopen Zoom again. So make sure when you enable it, your Zoom is closed and then open Zoom again and then it should automatically pop up for sure.
So just to clarify, Sean, so if before we start our 7:30 meeting, I should go in and check the setting and enable the breakout room and then start the meeting.
Yes, because if you start your session and if you don't see the enable a the breakout room tab, that means it hasn't been clicked, it hasn't been configured properly. So now I've actually done it so that it should automatically come
for all meetings.
For all meetings, I think. Just double check just to make sure. The reason why I'm being a little bit sort of skeptical because I've seen where we do one setting, sometimes it doesn't carry on all the meetings that was done before as well. So just do that quick check just to be safe. Better be safe than me. Sorry, Uncle. That would be my safe bet for sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just
so. Go for it.
A slightly related question, only because in case you want to practice, is Sean as he's got a regular meeting, is he able to use the collective Zoom to practice?
Yeah, you should. Well, the thing is, I think you should be able to. I think, like I said, I've already enabled the Zoom breakout rooms already on my thing. So I've actually gone into the profile of Saja Yoga and actually enabled breakout rooms. So now what will happen is when you start your meeting on the Zoom session, you should be able to do that. But Uncle, if you want to do it on your personal one, you'll have to log into your personal one and just follow that steps. And then that way you can be able to do it on your personal Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that one there. I hope I answered the questions correctly. So let me know if anything.
This is maybe slightly more, jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
If at a later date, within a breakout room, can you create a second breakout room?
No, you have to create the breakout rooms on the get-go. So you can't create another one, because that means you have to go through the same process again. So it's best for you to actually do one. But I think you can do, I think you need to just make sure everybody's in the room. Then you have to create another room again. You have to go through the same process again. But everybody needs to be back in the main room to do that.
Before you create new rooms.
Yeah. I think I've seen loopholes on that, but I have seen situations where sometimes I've actually put people into the ether, so I try not to play around with that if I can. But yeah, just follow. So what I would say is just making sure that you sort of have the breakout room to begin with and assign. But get everybody back into the main room, and then if somebody wants to say, hey, can we have a breakout room for this? Yeah, that's cool. You can actually assign 2 people into that as a host, and then you can have private discussions and things that can be very personal and whatnot, things like that, and that's perfectly possible. What I would say is bring them back all into the main room, then do the manual assignment itself.
Okay, so so just trying to understand this.
Sure.
Say at the beginning of the session, if we say we create 2 breakout rooms.
Yep.
And then one breakout room A we use, and breakout room B we have it as a redundant sort of room. See, if we need it, we can transfer. Is that possible?
Yes, that is possible. Yes, I think that's a great suggestion. I think that and what you do is with the thing, when you go into your manual assignment of the breakout room, so you this screen over here, that's where you sort of just move people up and things like that. And then what you can do is from the host perspective, you can actually do that manual assignment on its own as well. So for example, if you want to move somebody from one breakout room to the other, you should be able to. So I think if you look through, if you halfway through, yep. So so if you look over here, so you can actually, if you go into the breakout room, so obviously once you assign everybody into the breakout room, you can press the button of move to, and you can move them into the other breakout room if you need to. But if you want to create another buffer, that will be something I would highly recommend, so that if you have a spare room, you can just put people in there and then you can have a chat. But yeah, I would say for these kind of sessions, at least have 2 or 3 to be safe. Just so it's better to have more. You can create multiple. I think you can create up to 4 or 5 breakout rooms from memory. So better to create more than nothing. And it's not like a waste of space kind of thing. It's just there. And then if you want to use it, you can use it kind of thing. But it's up to you if that makes sense. So yeah.
Okay. Let's say there's some people in the breakout room, and if they leave the meeting, do they automatically come to the main room, or they go out of the meeting totally?
So when you leave a breakout room, you will automatically go back to the main room, and then you will have to just press leave meeting to actually leave the thing altogether. And you can press this thing that, see how this is option here, it says close all rooms. When you press that, it will automatically just bring, they'll have 60 seconds to either leave or go. But otherwise, then they'll slowly bring themselves back into the room. So when you click this close all rooms over here, it will be like a prompt up screen will come up into the breakout room that will say, I think it will just come over here. So that's if you want to make a message, so you can actually do a broadcast message.
Okay.
Doesn't show you how to. So usually from a user perspective, you will be able to see they say, this breakout room is ending. You will have 60 seconds, and then it will automatically bring you back to the main room.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thank you.
So don't worry. So what I would always tell the participants if they're in the breakout room, just say, let's let them know that, hey, we're going back to the main room now. So there should be a prompt that will come up. Just press yes, or if you want, wait for 1 minute, and then off you go back into the main room. And then if they want to leave the meeting, they would have to leave the actual meeting on its own. But you can, sometimes people are able to leave the meeting. So I think there's an option over here. If you press N, you can sort of leave the, there's an option that says leave meeting or leave breakout room. Because if you click leave breakout room, it will bring you back to the meeting. But if you click leave meeting, yes, you will be out of Zoom. See you later. You have to sort of bring them back in and stuff like that. So that's that one there over there. Yep. So as I said to you before, we can do like a little broadcast message if you want to, and it's got a little timer over there as well, so it tells you like how it's going. And it will come up as an automatic prompt. So normally, whenever the automatic prompt comes up for the breakout room, You can have either the yes, leave, and then I think the one on the left that says cancel. If you press cancel, that's great, but what will happen is then the countdown will still keep going. You're not going to delay the countdown because that's automatically generated by Zoom. So you don't have to hey, bring you back anything, it'll just automatically do that. So you don't have to worry about having to bring people back in because Zoom will automatically do that for you. So it'll make you a bit more easy. Like I said, I highly recommend looking at this video, learning how to use it. I reckon this is a very good, useful tool for, especially if you want to have sessions for people to do a one-to-one chat with you and things like that. Very, very useful. You can also do the same. I'm pretty sure. Yes, you can definitely do that. You can also share some screen as well, and also do some annotation on the breakout room. So think of the breakout room as another Zoom session, but within the main meeting. It's like a little breakout area. It's how when you have a big seminar and then you have a big breakout group. Essentially, that's basically what's happening. And you sort of bring it back to normal. You can still do the same thing, but I guess a little bit more focused onto that particular person or the participants in that room over here. So that will be my thing over here. It's actually a fun thing to use. It's actually quite efficient, and I would highly recommend for people to use it, especially if you have a big group, and you want to have more one-to-one conversations. But to bring you can also, once you bring them back into the main meeting, you can also recreate the breakout rooms again. So for example, if you want to do say if me and Uncle Chan wants to go have a chat personally and things like that, I can create that, and then both of us will disappear from the main meeting, and then the interaction will still happen, but me and Uncle Sean will disappear. Then once we click leave breakout room, we will just automatically come back. But remember that the host has the ability to just also do that as well. But you can also make that option. But just make sure when you click end meeting, you should be able to say, if you want to go back to the main meeting, make sure you leave breakout room and not leave meeting, because if you leave meeting, you will have to be re-admitted back into the main meeting again. So important that you sort of go through that step with your seekers when they go through that step. Hope that helps. Yep. So like I said, we've got this video over here. I will also put it on the YouTube. I'll just stop my share so we don't need to do that. So I'll just put it on the YouTube as well. Very, very good thing. I hope I've answered the question. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know. We'll definitely go through that as much as I can. So
Sean?
Yes, go for it.
Sean, so just before you leave that, so within every breakout room, is it just a free-for-all, or do you have can you assign somebody as being the host of a particular breakout room?
Yes, you should be able to. I think it is kind of free for all, but I think if you were a co-host for that particular thing, you should be able to just control the rights of it. I think from memory, yes, you can do that unless if you're a co-host. But I think if you just assign randomly, it's just like what you said, Uncle. It is a free for all kind of situation. So better to have if you do share a thing, you just make sure, I guess, you have the co-host rights. I think with the Saj Yoga account, we have the option to activate I think 2 or 3 hosts at the same time. So I'm pretty sure you're able to. So once you are being assigned to the room, your hosting rights will also be transferred into that breakout room as well. So it shouldn't be an issue, if that makes sense.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
No worries. It's fine. Like I said as well, with this, do a test run with your desktop and your phone as well, and you can see the options that could work as well. If you have any other yogis that can also be your your guinea pigs, so to speak, use them. I think that'll be really, really useful, because then that way is how you sort of just get a bit more better, and also find a way to perfect your presentation skills, so to speak. I'll be a bit more tech savvy. So that's that one over there in regards to breakout rooms. Are there any more questions about breakout rooms before I go on?
Yeah.
No? All good? Awesome. Great. So it's 12 o'clock at the moment. We can take a break or we can keep going. How does everybody feel? I think you're on mute, Uncle Andrew, so I can't hear you.
Maybe what if we have if we have a 5-minute break?
Yep.
And if you were to log off and log back on, it might be just an opportunity to just do a quick test of breakout rooms just to get the feel of it.
I think if I do that, it might take off the YouTube stream as well, which means it's going to be hard. So I think if I keep it, I think if I keep it going, it'll probably be a bit easier. So yeah, I think I tried doing it the other day and I was like, nope, I don't want to break it. So yeah, but yeah, I'm happy to take a quick break if anybody wants to take a quick break when we go, like, you know, bathroom or whatever, and then, you know, we can get back into it straight away. So
I'll just get up and go if I need to go.
Yeah, cool. No worries, that's fine. Yeah.
Coffee and tea in the breakout room.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a good idea. Why not?
Making cappuccino?
Yeah, cappuccino.
Hi, Richard.
Sounds good. Great. As always, if anybody has, so we'll take a quick, like, 5 minute. If you want to go take a quick stretch, go for it. And then we'll just come back straight into it over here for sure. So I'll just put it in the YouTube as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I'm back in the room, so if everyone is back, we can slowly start. Let me know when you're back, please. I'm just going to adjust my camera a bit.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Hello, Uncle.
Great. Just a question I thought
of.
Yeah,
go for it.
You know, when you do the screen share and you do audio only.
Yep.
When you go back to screen share, you go off screen share.
Yep.
Right. And you say, for example, go onto a screen share where you share like a video or something like that. Does that, and you come back to the main screen, does the audio stay on for sharing audio, or do you have to reset it every time?
No, so I think if you, and this is where the test run, like if you do a couple of minutes before and you do a quick test run, Zoom is programmed to remember your previous settings. So if you previously shared your screen with audio, if you redo it again, it would automatically click that again. So you don't have to click that extra setting. So it is an extra step to check. But like I said, having that quick 5 minutes before the program starts, do a quick test run. Everything goes through okay, sweet, no worries. What will happen is then all you need to do is just click share screen, click your thing, and then boom, it will just automatically come there. So that would be my suggestion on that one. But in case you do not get the time to do that, just add that extra step to do that for sure.
Yeah. So when I, for example, go from talking with a bit of music in the background, then I go to putting a PowerPoint presentation on, then I come back to my own, turning the PowerPoint off.
Yep.
You're saying that the screen share audio only should still be there, because
it should, yeah, because Zoom, remember, so Zoom has actually, and this is something that Zoom, because of the feedback they got from a lot of, so because during the last year, a lot of musicians actually use the audio from the computer to share like recordings and videos and things like that. And what happened was, for example, if they shared it and then they stop again and then reshared it in, that extra step actually was a little bit problematic for a lot of people. So Zoom actually added that option. If you shared before and you enable the share sound before, if you redo it again, it will automatically keep, which means that you don't have to double check it again, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
No worries. Cool. We might just get straight into it. So today, so the rest part of this thing is just a little bit more technical stuff, a lot more just about how to, what are some tips, what are some good practices that I always do whenever it comes to running a Zoom meeting and things like that. How to make sure that if you have like a big meeting, for example, whenever we do the, I know once I was actually running the UK collective, they had their meditation, and they had like, I think 100+ people joining in on Zoom, and then they also had the YouTube link as well, which needed to be done. So sometimes whenever you have 100+ people, sometimes there'll be a couple of people who jump in and they probably forget to turn off their audio, turn off video, forget to turn off their mic. So for example, if there's like sounds everywhere, it'll just come through, and there's like extra steps to just make to go through that. So I'm just going to go through little really basic tips. If any of you have any questions or also have any tips that you would like to share, please let me know as well, because this is more of an open interactive session and I like to go through. So first things first, especially just going back to my example of being technical presenting. So when I was running the collective session for the UK collective, one of the things that I had to go through was basically make sure that everybody has their mic off and things like that. So what's really good, I'm going to use the Penrith team as the example because I know you guys have a bit of a support system. Like you've got Uncle Sean who presents, and you have like Auntie Monica or yourself, Uncle Andrew, as just sort of like the support people behind it. That's what I like to call the ideal setup, because it's easy, because trying to present and doing all the nitty-gritty stuff is a lot to handle at one point. I can definitely vouch for that because I did that myself. Like I was doing breakout rooms, I was doing muting people, I was presenting at the same time, I was also sharing audio, so you can imagine. And also on top of that time, trying to present a great experience from giving realization and talking to them about the techniques of and whatnot, things like that. So you can imagine the amount of multiple hats I have to wear. I would say to people, if you like to make that sort of take on and work on your liver a little bit more, go for it. But I would recommend, if you have like another set person just as a support, really do good recommendation. Because for example, if your session happens to be a big session where a lot of people are jumping in, it's really important to make sure, like for example, mics are turned off, videos are off. Interaction with the chat section especially is really important, because sometimes we'll be running a session and then we can't, because with Zoom and the way it's done, you probably won't be able to see people like interacting with you. So it's really important to have that. So I'm just going to go through that with you, and then just for example, chat section and things like that, and how to best monitor that and whatnot. So I'll just share my screen, so the actual Zoom window that I have. So as you can see over here, you can see my entire Zoom window over here. So one of the things that I always do is now with the way a lot of Sajika Australia's meetings have been set, it's set in such a way, it is an admin thing that you can't remove, where you have to manually admit people in. We are doing this, I think, from what I understand from Uncle Charles and also from Auntie Lynn, was just to make sure that we don't have people who are like randoms and not necessarily, there's been a couple of cases where Zoom hacks have happened. Like I've actually been to a program where someone has randomly hacked our Zoom session and actually being a little bit immature and sort of draw like weird stuff and things like that. So the common setting is actually having a waiting room setting happened. So if you look at your participants, so say for example, you have somebody who's entered your meeting. Normally 9 out of 10 times it will say so and so has entered the meeting. You just click admit. Now, what do I do with this? I usually tell participants from the get-go, if they're joining a Zoom meeting, make sure that you put your proper name. Don't put a really weird name kind of thing. Try and be a little bit more sort of sensible and just say, hey, put your name so that we know who you are. And that way we know you're an actual real person. Just press admit and then you go through there. If in the event, because sometimes the pop-up window that comes up, it does go off pretty quickly. And say you're in the midst of conversation and you sort of miss that, you can go into the participants tab, and what will happen is the participants tab. So for example, now I'm actually going to leave from my phone, and then I'm going to show you how it's going to work. So if I go to joining the meeting again, back on my WhatsApp. So if I join the meeting again, so see how that pops up right there. It does have a bit of a it usually does click there, but sometimes it does go off. If you do miss out and then someone does that, there is that option of that waiting room there. Obviously admit, or you can remove them. You can message them as well. So you say, hey, we'll admit you instantly, just finishing off a couple of things right there and that kind of stuff. So worth having this option actually clicking open. So that will be what I would do over there. I'm just going to remove myself because this guy, he's really weird, isn't he? Why is he over here? Let's just remove him. So obviously if you do that over here, you remove Sean Premnath, I won't be able to join his meeting again. I'm not going to do that because I like to use my my phone sometimes. So I'm just going to remove that. So obviously now I'm not able to join that meeting. So those are some really good tips to really help you out with that. Now this option over here is really, really good to play around with. So as you can see over here, I have enabled in the security to rename themselves. Worth having fun. I mean, not having fun, sorry. Worth playing around with this a little bit more. Allowing participants to share screen, chat, rename themselves, unmute themselves, start video. Enable waiting room. I highly recommend doing this. You can hide your profile pictures if you want as well. So if you want to let people to see your display picture. If you don't have a display picture, it will just come up your name. I think Uncle Sean, you probably have that, and I think some of you as well have your only name there. So if you don't have that, it will just come up your name in the blank screen in the middle over there. There is the option to lock meeting, but that means that, for example, if you have any future participants, they won't be able to jump into the meeting. I've had some yogis ask me saying, okay, cool. So if I had somebody to join the meeting, and I know that's the people there, why can't I just lock it? You can do that, but sometimes we've had seekers or people who come to the session and they go, oh, I tried joining, but it didn't work, because what happened is because they've already clicked that lock meeting setting. So it's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a double-edged sword, but it's more like you just have to monitor it sort of carefully, making sure when you admit people, it's a bit more easy to go through that. So having that security option, making sure that these options are there. Now the other thing that to make sure that it all goes through, what you want to try and do, especially when you have like a meeting that has like 40, like for example, just going back to the example of when I was running the UK collective in London, there was about like 100 people in here. Making sure that everybody is all on mute, which all of you are doing, which is a great job. But sometimes you have some people who join in and then they're probably having it on their phone and then they accidentally press the button and it's sort of unmuted, and you have to just sort of go through that. So what you want to go through over here. So for example, see someone's actually unmuted themselves. So when they unmute themselves, which is Uncle Sean right here, it will just come up there, and then that will be somebody that's talking over there. I have the option to, so if I do that, if I press mute to Uncle Sean now, he's muted. But if I ask him to unmute, I can do that, and then you should be able to unmute now. So there you go. So you're able to do that. And then you've got this over here. You can there's this option over here to actually help you as well. Being the host, you're able to have more options over here. So for example, making co-host, make co-host, rename. I would suggest so what I've done for my video, as you can see over here, if you see the bottom left of my screen, it's a bit small probably on yours, but I've pinned my video, which means now whenever you see it on the streaming perspective or from a presenting perspective, that video will always appear no matter what. That's like your main video that everybody goes through. I can put like a spotlight if I want to. So if I put like so right now I don't think I'm on spotlight, but if I were to spotlight myself, you should be able to do it. So for example, if I spotlight for everyone, what will happen is now, if you were streaming this, it would automatically come to somebody else's video, if that makes sense. And then you can also like put somebody in the waiting room. You can remove them. You can report them. You can also multi-pin people. So for example, if you have like, I know Uncle Shan, you had this before. We had two different people presenting. You can have like a multi-pin. So that way, what does that mean is if, for example, you're presenting and then you have one of those weird people that accidentally unmuted their phone and it's like you hear this weird rummaging kind of sound. And what will happen is Zoom will automatically flick over to that screen. So whoever's making the sound will be the one that Zoom automatically flicks the window. So it's important to pin the windows that you want to do. So if you have multiple people presenting, pin the window as you see fit. So for example, if I were to unpin my video, so if I were to just can I do that on here? Oh no, I think I have to, because I'm sharing screen, that's why you have this option on the top right of the video panel when you share screen, where you're able to actually see the your participants, and you can actually right click them and you can actually like pin the video if you need to. So you can pin your video, so to speak. But the other option is obviously being able to just go to your own one and just pin it right there. I'll just do a bit of a gallery view so you can see what's going on. So if I do over here, if I were to click, if you see on my screen right now, you see how I'm able to sort of have this right click option where I can mute my audio, stop video, choose virtual background, remove pin, spotlight for everyone. So if I remove my pin, what's going to happen now? So if Uncle Shan, if you start speaking right now, just say hello. What's going to happen is
hello.
So it's now going to change over to the main screen. On the stream, on the user perspective. Obviously, right now with the way my screen is set at the moment, it is so that we can see everybody in the video at the moment. But if you were to not pin the video, whoever speaks next, the focus of the presentation will be shifted over to somebody else. So good habit to just make sure you do that. You just pin yourself, and then now what's going to happen is now you're obviously seeing myself. You won't be able to see everybody else. Now with this option over here, very important to note, a lot of people have asked me before and say, Sean, sometimes I see like everybody, but I don't want to see everybody, and sometimes I see myself, I feel weird seeing myself. How do I change that? So obviously you've got the speaker and gallery option. When you go to the speaker option, if you do that pinning setting, that obviously is a setting to just look at yourself. But if you want to see everybody, obviously you click that gallery option over there, you're able to see everyone. But you see how when I click the gallery option and then when I click the pin video, even though I if say somebody else was speaking, that pin is there, it doesn't change that. It's still on me, if that makes sense. Now, I've had people ask me questions. What's the difference between pin and the spotlight? Both are the same thing. Pin just basically, from a viewing perspective, just shows you as the important person. Spotlight is just, being able to show that video. So for example, sometimes whenever you have presentation, if you have two co-presenters, what will happen is sometimes you'll have two videos side by side. And then what will happen is, it can get very confusing from a user perspective. They'll be like, oh, which one do I look at, So what you can do is, you say, for example, if you're not speaking, but you want to keep your microphone on, if you just go on your gallery, and then if you just go on the person thing and you just click the spotlight for everyone, it will just focuses that video on that. It doesn't remove your pin. It's just spotlighting. And then after that, you just bring it back to where you were before. So you're back to normal. So those are things that I would highly recommend over here. So obviously there's things that you can do with Zoom. You can also like ask to unmute. If people are raising hands, they can lower hands, lock the meeting. Same functionality as you have with the security over here. So worth playing around with that a bit more. Before I go on, does anybody have any other questions they would like to ask?
John?
Yes, go for it.
Just with those settings you've just all been talking about now, so where do you bring up those settings again?
So if you see my video, if you can see the one that says gallery, so I'm just going to put all of us into the screen right now. Now you should be able, on my screen, you should be able to see the 4 of us on the screen. So if you just go to the top right of your video or any video, there's a little 3 dots on the top there and it says like mute. And then you're able to just click these options over here.
But when you, hi Sean, when you change those settings, it's only changing it on your own computer. And in this case, because you're doing screen share, it's changing it on ours as well. But if you want, are you able to control, or were you describing how you control what other people see as well?
Yeah. So obviously having that pin and that spotlight, that allows you to control that. So right now, I've got the YouTube link over here, and we can see myself. But if I were to add the pin, what's going to happen is now, if I add the pin to myself, so right now I've got the pin on me, but if I put spotlight for everyone, what's going to happen is...
Sorry, where was that pin from? Where did you get what?
So if you just go to where the 3 dots is on the video, if you go in your gallery.
Gallery.
So if you go to the top right and it says gallery over there.
Mine says view.
Oh yeah, so if you click the view, view option and then it says gallery. Yep. So now you'll see like the 4 of us. So obviously with this 4 of us in this meeting over here, you'll see 4 of us. Yep. And then if you just go to any one of the videos, and if you just go to the top right, there's a little thing that says, there's 2 blue dots that says ask to unmute, and then there's a one that says triple dots. Yep. Click that triple dots, and then you've got the add pin, replace pin, spotlight for everyone.
It must be only on your screen, I think, because you're...
yes, okay, that's right, because I'm the host. So yeah, obviously if you can see on mine, when you're host, you're able to see the functionality over here. I understand. Yeah, so obviously like if I were to, right now I'm obviously as the pin, but if I were to remove pin, what's going to happen is now we will see everybody. And then say for example, if like before when I had the example, if Uncle Chan was talking, it will automatically go to the next available audio source that it's coming from. So I always say adding the pin there, which means that it helps me to, from a streaming perspective, my screen is always there no matter what. It doesn't bring up the other person. So it just makes your life a bit easy. These are small little things, but it goes a long way. So
Sean, so your viewers can always see you, but they can hear other participants' voice. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, yeah. But the thing is how I've set it right now. So right now, obviously you can see on your screen because I'm sharing my screen. But if I were to go to my gallery view, and if I were just to go back to, if I just remove my pin, but if I pin myself again, what's going to happen is to see how I'm back to normal. It's just me now. You don't see anybody else. Okay. But even see like Uncle Sean, if you try speaking right now, my view doesn't change.
Yes, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you pin your video, it's always like eyes on you kind of thing, you know?
Okay.
So I would highly suggest having that setting set up so that way it does help when you have like multi presenters on there. And with the Sahaja account, if you're starting the session from your Zoom account, it should be able to allow you the opportunity to pin multiple people. So obviously, as I was saying before, the functionalities I'm showing is because I have the host settings, but if you are able to jump into your session, you will be able to do it yourself essentially. Right now you won't be able to do it in real time because it's a bit hard. So that's that one there. Cool. I hope that answers the question for the pinning stuff.
Actually, next to my name, I've got a pin at the moment instead of the mute. Or is that? Did you pin me, or is that?
No, I don't think you. Oh. I think maybe.
It looks like.
Oh no! You're not pinned. You're not pinned.
So I just wonder what that is. If I mute my.
That's mute. But yeah, you're not supposed to be there. Yeah. I think maybe what I've done is I've just allowed the multi-pin. You can, and then you can do this thing where you can multi-pin people. So I can, like, for example, Uncle Andrew, what I'll do is I'll add a pin on you as well. So now what's going to happen is if you look at the screen, you should be able to see two of us now on the screen.
Oh, that's a good idea. Actually.
Yeah. So if you have that multiple thing, it does help. So for example, if you ever have this option of people, again, it just helps for people. Like, for example, sometimes when people come on Zoom, they accidentally, like, you know, to have a bit of a slip and they sort of turn on the video or turn on the speaker, and then what'll happen is it'll sort of detract the presentation. So having this multi-pin does really help. Again, you won't be able to do it for those of you on Zoom because you don't have the host settings yet. But as a host, you will be able to play around with that. That's definitely for sure. So that's that one there. I'll just remove your pin, Uncle Andrew, so you can just look at me. So all right, cool. So that's that one there. So other thing that you can, so with the you can, so this is something that I always do, especially with the multiple meeting one. You can, when you click the mute all, you actually also by default mute yourself as well. So if I were to press this mute all right now, 3, 2, 1. It'll have another option that says all current and new participants, and then what will happen is just mute. When you mute, you don't mute yourself. So I had another question today, someone asking me, so Sean, if I mute all, does that mean that I get muted? No, not necessarily, because as a host, you are the presenter, you're able to do that. So it's just like a really one size fits all that will help you. So for example, if you have somebody that joined the session and they're like this random sort of sound, just press this button, and then obviously that comes up there, and then they get the option to do that over there. So just another cool functionality that will help you over there. That helps. I've had people ask me about you can hide your floating meeting control. So for example, if I do this over here, now that will disappear. Now in order to bring it back, I think I can... I forgot. Wait, what is it? View. There you go. Show floating meeting controls over here. So on your computer, if you go to, you should have an option that says View, and it says Hide Meeting Controls. If I click that, that will go. So if you're sharing your desktop and you want that little weird thing to get out of the way, that's how you do that. If you want to bring that back, just better Show Meeting Controls. I've had people who don't like this, so they sometimes whenever they do it, go, okay, hide it. Oh wait, how do I stop sharing? What do I do? And then what I do is just, what you do is just go back here again and then view show floating meeting controls. Now, important thing to note, whenever you share, if you're sharing a particular desktop, if you're sharing a PowerPoint, I know some of you use PowerPoint as part of your presentation. If you put this in the middle of your PowerPoint, you will have this weird black strip over here that will be covering your PowerPoint presentation. So I would suggest if you have multiple monitors, move that out of the way, but obviously have this thing of like showing off, hiding your floating meeting controls. And then when you're back into it, just go back to your view and then bring that back again. Also, another thing that's worth using as well, like sometimes a lot of people forget the drop down, this one over here. This is for Mac. I know for the PC one, not familiar with that setting, but I'm pretty sure there is an option that you can actually be able to control the settings and whatnot, having these kind of drop downs over here. Really useful to play around. There's a lot of shortcuts over here. Shortcuts are my best friend. It just makes it easy. I'm a bit more sort of like, if I can use my keyboard a bit more better, that's pretty helpful for me. Just make my life a bit easy and whatnot. So that's that one over there. So that's that. The other thing I was gonna go through as well was okay. So we have sometimes issues of people going, oh, I can't hear my sound. Okay, this is not working. What's going on? I wanna, what kind of sound? What's going on? I'm sounding a bit really weird. There's this thing here called original sound. Okay. Now, what does that mean over here? Zoom, by default, whenever you start your meeting, it will always go to your original sound. What does that mean? No changing around of the sound quality. It's still as normal. No weird sort of touch up, like how the sort of mixing with vocals and things like that in sort of recordings that you hear. It is whatever you say is whatever you get. So if you hear yourself, it's whatever you hear back into your cans or your headphones. It's exactly the same thing. Now you can turn it off. I would say turn it off if you're only comfortable in turning off the original sound. Only just because it's a little bit more technical. I just stopped share just so you can see me a bit more. Try not to play around with that if you can. If you want to play around with that, that's great. But I would say only helpful if you have like an audio interface or if you have a microphone that you want to try and use to connect this thing. So that's that one there. Most Sahaja Yoga programs are recorded, so that will be that one there. Uncle Andrew, I think you kind of lost connection there, so I was just going through with the original sound over there. I just wanted to go through with you with that. I'll just share my screen again so you can see what I'm talking about. So with your original sound, because I think this is quite applicable to you, Uncle Andrew, because you've got that external microphone that you're using to play to talk. You can I always recommend putting the original sound as on. You can turn it on as off, but if you turn it off, what's going to happen is Zoom will do their own changes and make it sound that it's like a presenter worthy audio quality. So they will do their own sort of little automation and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of how they do it because they've actually sometimes made me sound very digitalized. So I remove it, and obviously if I have the actual microphone and things like that in that, I know that I can be I'm a little bit more hands-on with the way I move my sound settings. So I try to just keep it on, and then I sort of be a bit more in control of what's going on.
Sorry, where was that original sound option?
So on the top left.
It's on the top. I've got recording live, on customer, live zooming. I don't have anything on.
No, because the thing is I'm sharing my screen. So if I'm going to stop share my screen now, you should be able to see this thing that says on the left side. You know how there's on your left side of your Zoom, there's a little the thing that's there's a green logo there that says tick.
Meeting information.
Yep, and then if you go on the right, it says original sound or sound.
Let's see.
Yeah.
On the right. Now mine just says recording live or custom, but you mean if you click on that one?
No, so if you click the original sound, it just fixes, like if you click it as off, what's going to happen is it will essentially let Zoom do the final touches on your, like the sound quality of how you're speaking. So they will do the adjustments to make sure that it's best audio quality and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of trusting the Zoom to do my manual adjustments. I'm a bit more hands-on with the way I do things. So 9 out of 10 times, every single time, a lot of meetings that have been started, it will always have the original sound on. But from the if there's an issue from the user's perspective, it's just a matter of making sure that original sound is on. So every time that they speak or they hear, they're able to hear it on their headphones and things like that. So I always say from the user's perspective, so your attendees, your meeting attendees, some of them are not very tech savvy or they don't understand, what do I need to do? Or probably they're on their phone, right? So we can't, I wouldn't say it's a limitation, but I think it's also a good thing as well. We can't control the setting on their computer of what to do. The other option that we can do, which is a little bit, I personally think is a little bit sort of dangerous, so to speak. I'll just bring up my video so we can see. So you can. Where's my meeting controls? Meeting controls. Yep, there you go. So meeting. All right. So if I were to share screen now, I'm going to share my desktop. Okay. So there's the other option of like, and that's if you want to be a little bit more hands-on. You can do this thing called remote control. where you remote control their settings so that they can make sure it's all good. I use this a lot because I teach a lot of my music students via Zoom, and a lot of them are like probably 7-year-olds who probably don't even know. Like if I tell them what is original sound, they'll be like, "What is this?" And they had no idea. So I usually have this sort of go on the remote control, and I just ask them to click yes. And if you click over here, you give the opportunity to give mouse keyboard control to other people. Now this setting is only available if you're the host, so if you have the host rights. So remember, my view is obviously the host settings. You can auto accept all requests, share the clipboard, giving mouse controls to your relevant Zoom participants. I usually this is I have done this personally, but I've never done this from program perspective, unless if it's like I think I had one person who jumped on this session, and she was I think she was a 65-year-old lady, and she didn't know how, like she couldn't hear me, so I basically had to go to remote control and just control her thing, and it was able to do that. That's a little bit more hands-on. Do I say you should do it? It's a personal choice. You don't have to do it. It's up to you, kind of thing. But that's if you want to play around and help them out a bit more, just to make sure that they get the sound setting. But I like to sort of let them work it out themselves, because it's Zoom has made it in such a way that it's a little bit more hands-on for you to play around a bit more. So that's that. Cool. I'll just stop share so we can go over here. The recording function, it's set up automatically. So what happens with that is when we record Zoom meetings, with the way Sajigo Australia's account is being set up so that it goes up to the cloud. So they've got a cloud, Zoom cloud, which Sajigo Australia has put their thing on. If ever you want to view the meeting and, have a look at it yourself, and maybe as a way of reviewing yourself, you're able to actually access that breakout room. So I'm just going to show this on the your Zoom profile. So I'll just share my screen over here. Share this one over here. So if you go over here, you can go to your if you go to your the login page, go to your recordings. It will go. So obviously my one over here is still being done. You can go into the one over here. So for example, you can actually click your session. So it will have like the files that you have over here. It's a good sort of good to know, essentially, having these things over here. So for example, if I want to click, let's just click last week's Zoom session over here. So what will happen is they'll have over here how many people has viewed it, how many people downloaded it. Now this is views based off the Zoom analytics, not the YouTube or how many outside people are using. So this is obviously for those of us who have the access to the account. You're able to, people have questions on the chat, and they have the shared version over here. You can download the link, and obviously if you want to take snippets of it and do your own edit, that's perfectly up to you. So that's that one there. So you can actually access these recordings yourself, but yeah, don't worry about it being recorded. It will automatically get recorded and saved over here. So we do this just because as a way to sort of just see if everything's going okay, and also sometimes I think they use it for promo material. So that's just a good sort of FYI for people to know as well. I wouldn't, but so if you want to get access to these recordings, I think if you do have access to the account, you can edit. But otherwise, you can either speak to me or Uncle Charles. We can definitely show you how to sort of go through that and stuff like that. So that's that there. I'll just stop the share. Cool. Is that one there? Okay. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. In terms of my tech support sort of questions, also inquiries. The other thing that I wanted to sort of talk to people as well, with your chat function, you are able to directly message somebody. So for example, if you're in the major breakout room, if you're in the main room, the main meeting room, but you want to talk to somebody specifically, you have the option to click that into your chat function. So if you go click into your chat function, if you go to the bottom where you're able to type, there's a thing that says to everyone. You can click that drop down menu and also click on the particular people that you want to just specifically speak to. You don't have to be a host to do that. Anybody can do that. So just makes it easy for those of us who maybe want to speak to, say for example, if we have if you have somebody on tech support and they're a bit of a late arrival, and they haven't been given the warm welcome, you can have them sort of just jump in and just like, hey, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. This is your first time doing Sahaja Yoga session, and just sort of being that point of contact and say, if you have any questions, please send me a direct message. I've already set this up so that you can directly speak to me. So what will happen is, for example, if I send a direct message to somebody, automatically Zoom will still keep that setting on direct message. So for example, and what's another thing that you can do? If I click this one over here, if I click the drop down menu, if I click a message, so right now I've got I've set a message to Uncle Shan. So if I say hello to Uncle Shan, it will now only appear on Uncle Shan's chat. Nobody else are able to see it. But what's easy to know as well is when you type the conversation and keep going, it's still set to that person that you're speaking to. So making sure that you realize to always click that drop down, and if you want to talk to everybody in the meeting, you click that everyone. Yeah. So I'll just quickly show that option again on a screen share so everybody can see it. So as you can see over here, if I were to click in everyone in meeting, so if I were to click just on one person, I click Uncle Shan. If I say hello, okay, then only Uncle Shan can see. But say if Uncle Shan speaks back to me, it still keeps the same conversation between us. It doesn't, what's the word? It doesn't order. You'll have to change back to everyone. So important to that. So yes, as you can see, hello, hello again. So you have to click manually to go back to everybody you want to talk to. I've seen a lot of people do this in Zoom meetings where they'll be like talking this really nice essay, really, really great. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh wait, it's actually to one person. So just make sure you go through that with them from the get-go when somebody's talking to them on the chat. It's click to everyone, and also it's not to just that person over there. So these are just some really good tips to help with regards to doing this.
I just thought of something. I don't know.
Yeah, go for it.
So, if with hosting a program, the one option would be, because sometimes people who are new to Zoom, a lot of people who come on they're coming on for the first time, and they're logging onto a program. One option might be that the main program is a breakout room, and then somebody, say Monica's in the other room, and she could admit people into the room, say, oh, hi, how you going? He just to join the program, and then she puts them into the main breakout room, and then, hi, how you going? Is this your first time? She could talk to them and then put them into, say, the breakout room, which is the new program.
Yeah, you can definitely do it. Yeah, that's definitely an option. I think who was it? I had this with somebody else. It was on the other side of the world. I'm pretty sure. I think it was one of the Malaysians. They actually were trying to do this session where they had a program, and then they had a general public program, and then they had a breakout room for those who are very new or they have no idea about what Sahaja Yoga is all about. And they actually had that. So obviously you have two sessions running at the same time, and it's not an issue. I guess what that means is that basically if you have your technical, like that's why having your team of 2 or team of 3 is ideal. So you do have that breakout room where the breakout room is for first timers, and you give them the realization so that they feel a bit more comfortable. That's great, but the thing is, what's going to happen is your technical support person is gone, and then you're losing one person. So it's ideal to have, if you're running like a big, like where there's multiple users meeting people in the room, to have at least one technical support person. You can be like me, where I was doing that all by myself and I was handling it with like 100 people, but I would say from the get-go, try and get at least somebody with you, because if you have at least a team of 3, if you want to have that idea, that's a great idea, I think, Uncle Andrew. But I think making sure that if you lose one person, because that person will be in charge of the breakout room, right? So whatever happens in the breakout room, that's their thing. But if something does happen in the main one, you kind of have to be that multiple hat kind of person. That would be sort of my understanding of that one.
Sorry to clarify that point. So if, for example, Monica was in the main room,
yep,
she couldn't be watching the main
no,
program at the same time.
Yeah,
she
so
can't. That would be a disadvantage. Yeah.
So that would be my thing. But look, try it. I would say just try it and see what works if it does. But I would say a lot of the times with the Zoom ones, most of the programs, the public programs that I have done have always been either like the maximum I've ever had is like probably 10, 20. I've had a max one. So that's quite easy to manage for me personally to manage all the wearing the multiple hats of the presenting, muting, the screen sharing, the doing, and also presenting Sahaja Yoga and things like that. That was quite easy for me. I know for some people 20 is quite a lot. So it's a very personal thing. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Another question, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
So let's say Andrew is in a breakout room. In the breakout room, I'm in the main room, and I've just asked everyone, settle down, close your eyes. Yep. And while they're closed eyes, can I jump to the breakout room, have a quick look, and then come back in as a host?
Yes, you can. You should be able to. There is the option to do that, but I think it also depends, because if Auntie Monica is the one that sets the breakout room, she will have the breakout room functionality. You probably won't have that.
As a host, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think only one host can enable the breakout room option. So it has to be. So what I would suggest is giving that breakout room responsibility to one person rather than multiple people to do it, because then it gets a little bit problematic. Because what's going to happen is, I think Zoom has made it in such a way that you can't have multiple hosts organizing multiple breakout rooms. It has to be only from one person. So only one source is able to do it. So you would always talk to the person who's doing the breakout room. So if, in this case, Uncle Sean, if it's Auntie Monica is doing the breakout room, just have a chat to her. She's able to see the list of people who are there, and then they can sort of jump in and whatnot. But I think if you wanted to move yourself there, Auntie Monica will have to pick you and put you there, if that makes sense.
Right.
But you can't personally go in there into, like, if you want to jump into a breakout room, you can't do it because Auntie Monica has set the breakout room, so she has the power to, I guess, move the chess pieces, so to speak. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's say it's Andrew and me.
Yep.
And then Andrew is in the he in charge of the breakout room.
Yep.
And I'm in the main room, and I need Andrew to come in and sort something out for answer some questions.
Yep.
Can he jump from the breakout room to the main room and then back again? Is that possible? Is that something?
Yeah. I no. I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to visualize it. Yes, you can. Just depends on who's actually enabling the breakout room. Because if it's Uncle Andrew that's enabling the breakout room, yes, he can do that. He can jump from the main to the breakout. That's perfectly doable. But if it's you who is the host, I don't think you can.
Okay.
I haven't played around with that function so much.
Okay.
But I've always known that, for me, personally speaking, and seeing how Zoom meetings work, it's always best to have one person control it all rather than having multiple people jump around and having that person to control that function, because I think it's a bit easier, because then you know who to come in, who to jump off and things like that. So it's best to just keep it to one person responsibility rather than like multiple people. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. No worries. All good. Yep. So just on that note as well, so this is something that I do as well, just as a normal housekeeping thing that I do with Zoom participants coming on. So a simple thing that I always tell them is turn off their mic. Video is completely optional. You can go through, like, if they want to talk in the video, obviously with the way the video is being set up, you can go through like a quick setup in terms of like how they should set the video. For example, like, making sure the video is on the middle, not too low, not too high. Some people are on their iPad, so they're looking down like this. So just give them like a quick sort of demonstration. If you're using PowerPoint, if you can put it on a PowerPoint, that's brilliant. But it's up to you. But don't spend too much time on it. Go through like a quick Zoom etiquette 101 with them. So mic on, mic off. You can go through the simple thing. When somebody joins a meeting, by default, they are muted, but sometimes you can sort of unmute them. and show them like if they ever want to speak, press the space bar, hold it down, speak, and then they take it off and then back to normal. Just like how I did it with you, Uncle Richard, where we just press the space bar down and then you can talk, and then when they stop talking, take it off so they're back to normal. Because by default, when you join to a meeting, Zoom has set it so that your audio is muted. And video, you can actually choose to, whether to enable it or not, and that's basically going through your settings option to do that. You can have the option on your Zoom settings to like, I know there's a thing where you can actually check whether your video looks nice, or like if it's the right video that you want to show and things like that. And then you can also have the option of joining with video or without video. Desktop has that. I don't think the mobile and iPad has that. So just let the people know that this is what's going to happen if they ever get kicked out of a meeting and then come back in. What I always say as well is we've had situations where people have they're in the meeting, but then sometimes they get kicked up because internet connection dropped out, or maybe the computer can't handle doing Zoom at the same time. If they ever get stuck, just ask them to go back through the link, and that will automatically prompt them to be admitted back into the room again. So that will be my sort of 2 cents on that one. Now, in terms of how you want to ask questions, now I've had somebody once ask me about the polling, and I think I briefly went through this last week as well. You can set up polls if you want to, and by doing that, you can set it up previously before your sessions. For example, like if you want them to, if they had a great session, not a great session, what are their thoughts and things like that, any feedback. I know the Queensland Collective was doing that, but I don't know whether they started using it more, because I think it requires them to completely update it. But you can use the polling option to say, like, did you have a good session? Yes, no. It's just a nice way to get more crowd participation rather than just them sitting down, just sort of listening to you every single time. You can set this up. If you click the polling over here, I think it will automatically, you have to add a question. So I'll just share, I'll just share my screen again so you can see what I'm talking about. So when you share screen, you're able to, like, when you add a poll, you can edit it. But if you press the edit, it will actually go into your Zoom thing. So I'm just gonna bring this up over here. Oh wait, I can't because I'm on full screen. That's why. Let me just think. Okay, cool. I'll bring this up over here so we can see this. So you're probably able to see it. So as you can see with this screen over here, I'm just going to make this big so it's a bit more easy. So as you can see on my screen over here, I can add a poll, but it does, when you click add a poll, obviously, like I can put over here, say test. You can put as a anonymous if you want to, and you can just go over here. Did you have a good question? Sorry, did you have a good session maybe? Okay. Then you click yes, no, okay. Then you can have multiple thing, and then add what you do is you add a question again. That's one there, okay.
So this is add a call or add a what?
Add a poll. So like it's a poll that you can do like towards the end of your session. So yeah, so like a yes no kind of thing. Very simple one.
So add a poll. What's it?
Like a poll, like like a voting poll. P-O-L-L? Yeah, poll, like a poll. Yeah. So so what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just adding I'm adding one to these sessions over here. So let's just put test. Did you have a good session? You can have like a multiple choice one. So what was so on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate it? Then I can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you have another question, so that comes over there. Okay. So what's going to happen is now if I click save. Okay. So that's right. I've got to press cancel for that one. Oops. So now what's happened is now basically it should. So at the moment I haven't created any poll, but if I click one over here, so I just put test. So I'll just put another one again. Test. So I pressed the wrong button. So yeah. Yes. No. Okay. And then what you do is you press save. There you go. So what's going to happen now, it will come up on my screen. There's a poll over here. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is when you click your Zoom session, I'm just going to close this and I'm going to put our session back again. So when we put our Zoom session back again, now if I were to close this, if I click launch poll, what's going to happen right now is on your screen, you will get a poll being sent to you. So I'm going to send it to you right now, and it will only be enabled for the Zoom participants. Okay. So if I'm going to click to run, what will happen is you will get a poll being pumped out to you. So you're going to get it right now. So look at that. So there's a test right there. Then you can click yes, no, whatever.
Submit.
Okay. There you go. And then if everyone's pretty much done, you can just press end poll, and then what we can use, I can share the results. There you go. See? Like that. So if you ever want to make like a pop quiz or like a way of just getting that interaction and things like that, really useful to help to do, and also for those of you who want to get like actual feedback and things like that. Did they have a great session? No, yes, and whatnot. Rating system and stuff like that. You can do that, all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Actually, there could be something you could use early in the program to see, is there anybody here who's finding, that they're not understanding what's going on, or feels like they should be in an introductory meeting.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can definitely do that. And you can do that. I think you can't... I think you can do that in the breakout room. I'm not sure. I haven't tried the polling function in the breakout room, but you probably try that. See how that one goes. I know you can do it in the main one. I don't know if you can do it in the breakout room. So if you find out, let us know. It would be cool.
I was thinking in terms of, say, if Sean remained the main room, which is, in that situation.
Yeah, you can. And what's really cool is, again, but the thing is, just again, a reminder, whenever you include this polling, you have to, so if I press, sorry, just stop share. You have to get your questions already lined up on that Zoom meetings before you start your meeting. So getting all of those ready to go, so that was easy.
Before the meeting.
Sorry?
You can set that up before the meeting.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, so like for example, for the Penrith team, if you have your thing tomorrow, you can do a bunch of questions over there, put it all over there, and you'll be able to just click that polling, and then what's going to happen is
do them one at a time. You can choose the questions one at a time.
Yeah. So it's actually a really great way to just create that more crowd participation, if anything. It's a little bit more easier. Rather than having people to type. So, and if they have any questions or feedback, they can always send an email to, just get them to always send an email back to info@sahajayoga.com, and then, we can sort of take that feedback on and whatnot. But yeah, this is a really good function over here. You can edit it, you can download it, you can relaunch the thing if you want to as well. You're going to bring it back again. And that's right. And also you can share the results to the meeting itself as well.
Just another question, which is perhaps a little bit unrelated, but say, for example, somebody comes to the meeting for the first time, and you want to collect their details before they leave or early in the program. Can you fill out some information about your email address and or contact number and name? Would you use poll, or would you use something else?
So I don't know if this is a setting that Sahaja Yoga Australia has, but I think with all the Zoom meetings, because they're public, you don't get a chance to get their email addresses. But I think there is a way to make the Zoom meeting invite only, which means that they need to register their name and then send an email address, and you can have a database. That part, I'm not sure how Uncle Charles and the team have actually set up that way, but I think because at the moment they've set it so that it's just a big link, and everybody can come through. So, but the thing is, the only issue with that is if I do that, it means that it's just another extra step for people to put in the details, because some people may not be comfortable with sharing the details from the get-go. So what I would suggest is then maybe getting them to either direct message you, or send them get them to send an email to info@sahajayoga, and then just tell them that you attended this Zoom program on what day, and then I think whoever handles that mailbox, I think, can just forward the information over to you. I think Uncle Charles handles that, so he can definitely forward that over to you and whatnot. So yeah.
I think I was thinking in terms of, say somebody comes for the first time, and you want to send them either a digital or a real photo of Sri Mataji to use for meditating.
Yeah, so you have the webcasting resources. So if you remember the one that I showed last week, I'll put it on the chat again so everyone can see it.
Oh, I see. You just give them the link for webcasting. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, so you just give them the link, and then we just need to make sure that when you click on that link, you will be able to go into publications for new people. Don't obviously that's for us as yogis. So what I would say is probably just downloading them, and then you can send them into via file. And you can actually download the file, and then once you send the file over to them, they can just have that for their own disposal. You can have that as a download, or the other option you can do for those of you who are doing PowerPoint is having like a QR code, and where they can have a website at which I can actually access the stuff. I'm not sure if this has already been set up. So I think this is an Uncle Charles question, to be honest. So
okay,
yeah.
If I may add, this with the QR codes, we have tried that at Penrith, and if there are photos in that webcast resources, we just select a photo and I just copy paste and create a QR.
Okay. Yeah, that's
fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. I think in that link, if there's anything that you want to add, I think that's for sure. But yeah, it's everyone's got different tastes with whatever's easiest for you. But I think they're all got, like, for example, the small, like in the webcast, I'm just got the page in front of me. You've got the meditation balancing guide, the small info, the meditation card, the pamphlet of Welcome to Sahaja Yoga, which has that photo of Shimaji anyway. So so those are really good ones. But if you have others that you find that are helpful, again, this is just just as a starting for those of people who want to start. But if you have your own stuff, that's okay. But yeah, if you want to have a QR code, I think that's a great way to do it, because it's easy, because people can just take it on their phone, and then life's good, and that will make it a bit more fun and exciting for them. And that's that. Well, we've just reached 1 o'clock. Are there any questions, anything that you would like to sort of ask me? Because we're pretty much done, but I just had, if you have any questions, I can sort of answer them right now before I can wrap up a bit earlier. Yes.
It's all good.
Yeah. So what I would always suggest is, also for those of you who are presenting, having a set of earphones is better, rather than having like your laptop with the speakers out, because what's going to happen is that speakers are going to loop into your mic, and then what's going to happen is that if you're playing something, it's going to like basically be a weird sort of feedbacky kind of stuff. So best to have earphones on to just make sure you hear yourself better, but also making sure that you don't have that feedback look. So that would be my suggestion, like getting some earphones on. You can do like what Uncle Andrew has, which is all like me, where we have a microphone out there. That's also another setting as well. Just makes it a little bit better, because sometimes whenever people talk, and I don't know if this is manual setting or if it's an auto setting, but sometimes you can hear when people speak, they can sound like they're sort of screaming at the microphone, but they're not even like talking quite loud. Yeah, because because maybe of the sensitivity of the microphone. So if you get but that only applies if you have an external one. If you have an external one, there's a lot of playing around with that. If you're a bit more, that's a little bit more technical and hands-on. If you want to play around with the sound setting, that's perfectly cool. But most laptops and most computers, their inbuilt one is perfectly fine, so you don't have to worry. The only thing you have to worry in terms of the microphone is just making sure that it's loud enough, it's not too soft, so making sure that you're quite close to the microphone. Now, does that mean that you need to be really, really close to where your microphone is on your webcam or on your thing? No, not really. Just be a safe distance apart from it. So I like to keep it like a bit more like an arm's length, so that way it's easy for us to sort of talk. And with the volume that you speak, like right now, I'm speaking how I'm normally speaking. I'm not yelling. I'm not speaking softly. But you can still do that. I know a lot of people who do whenever they do their guided meditation, sometimes they can be quite soft when they speak. So what I always suggest is, with your volume, I would always suggest keeping them at least like around 75%, 50% is quite good. So like sort of halfway through or just a little bit over, just so that when you do go a bit more softer, like people can still hear you, rather than to be like louder, kind of thing. So just be mindful about that. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I have. Is there any questions? Any sort of open field, I guess.
Just on the same topic, Amina was saying she was looking at it on YouTube, and she said my voice was very quiet. She couldn't hear my voice compared to everybody else's.
Yeah. So when you did your thing, were you doing the?
No, now during this session.
Okay, cool. So because of the way your microphone is, Uncle, so I think you need to activate. If you got your Behringer, there should be something that says phantom power.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it quiet? Is it?
Yeah. So it's quite. It's not that quiet, but the thing is because you don't have. You need to boost the signal a bit more because when you plug in a microphone, it's quite like dead as it is. So it's not a condenser microphone. It doesn't have something inbuilt to do it. So when you press the 48, when you press the phantom power, it gives a signal which just boosts the thing altogether. So if you press that right now,
I haven't got phantom power.
Is it 48V? I think it's called. Maybe behind your thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
How's that?
Yeah. See how that's great now? I can hear you quite clearly.
Oh, good.
Much better, yeah. So you don't have to go like see how I'm like really close, but like I'm also keeping this microphone quite far away and I'm still picking up quite well. So yeah, that's worth getting for yourself. So yeah, obviously whenever I do my sessions on my Zoom and whenever I have an external microphone, most microphones just need like a bit of a signal boost, and that 48 phantom power does give that boost to make sure that you're able to still talk normally but not too loud. So yeah.
Great.
There you go.
Thank you.
Any other questions for anybody before we wrap up? Nah, all good. Yeah, like I said, just trial some of these things out. Like I said, the best functionalities obviously is the breakout rooms, the polling, making sure if you're having a crew, like a group with you, minimum 2, can have up to 3. I like to keep it at 2 just as a bare minimum because you have somebody who does the presentation and somebody on your tech support who does all your mic muting, your making sure the videos are off and making sure the videos are fine. Ensuring that the security, like just being that making sure that everybody is doing the right thing and not being able to screen share by accident. I think we had one sometimes. I remember once I had a session and then someone had a bit of a pocket drop and then they actually shared their mobile phone screen. So it has happened. So it's best for you to just make sure you double check that. Having that extra person does help that. So it's important to know that because when you do screen share, what will happen is there'll be that fleeting moment where the screen will disappear and then it will sort of come back. It will go to the next available person that's open and then it'll come back to yours. So those small things do add up. So just making sure you have that extra person. Playing around with breakout rooms is really good. Really highly recommend those. So if you can have those sessions where people are coming in for the first time and they want to have a bit more intro, and that's really great. Going through Zoom etiquette with them if you're using a PowerPoint presentation. PowerPoint is the best, and I think Uncle Shan, you've done it quite well in terms of how you've let that, which is really good. All I say is try make sure you have. If you want to make it easy for yourself, make everything on the PowerPoint because when you see a screen being shared, 95% of the time people will focus on what's on the screen and like they'll focus on you as a speaker, but whatever's on the screen is a little bit more visible versus what you listen to when somebody's talking to you. So having that visual cue does help. So PowerPoint is something that I would recommend if you want to do it. But if you want to be free flowing and don't want to do it, that's perfectly fine as well. It's a personal choice. Everyone's got different presentation styles. I've done both. I guess for me, I just go by what the moment is. If I feel like, do I want to be a little bit more hands-on or do I want to really just enjoy the meditation? If I want to just enjoy the meditation, personally speaking, I found being a little bit more not on the PowerPoint side has been good. But sometimes if I really if I'm doing like a presentation about the chakras or talking to them about like a particular technique, PowerPoint does help, and it just really makes the presentation more engaging from a perspective of from a user as well. It sort of makes them feel like they're in the room, if that makes sense, kind of thing. So that will be my take on that. Yeah, and also going through the making sure the original sound, playing around with screen sharing, making sure when you screen share you're able to see the options. And then the security and also the chat function as well. These are all very, very small details, but it does add up to the actual engagement because you're already combating with a lot of people who are probably not as welcoming to this whole Zoom platform. And let's be honest, when we first look at stuff in the camera, it's a little bit weird, a little bit daunting. So a lot of people are probably going through that weird sort of mental barrier to sort of jump through that. So just make sure that you sort of, you know, make them feel a bit more comfortable, like as though it's the actual real program and whatnot. So that will be my suggestion on that. So adjusting your camera and that kind of stuff. Spend a couple of minutes before you do your session. You're comfortable with everything. Everything's running okay. And then if it doesn't work out okay, I would say just give it a bandana, you'll be fine. So, and that would be my sort of take on that. But yeah. Cool. I guess we'll wrap it up there. Let's just maybe just raise Kundalini and give ourselves a bandana. Shimaruji, thank you for everything. Jai Shimaruji.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
No worries. As always,
Thanks,
if you have any questions, please do ask. My suggestion to do right now is just trial and error. Just keep doing it. If it does happen, most of you have my contact. You can always also ask the webcast crew as well in terms of questions. There's a lot more people as well who are quite experienced with a lot of these things. And ideas are always welcome. And yeah, I say just trial and error. If you have any questions, just ask, and I'll do my best to help you, all of you.
Thanks again, Sean.
Okay. Jai Shimaji.
See you, Andrew. See you, Sean.
See you. Bye.